Okay, it looks like we've got things set up here. This is the 2012 Triumph Speed Triple standard version. This one has a custom seat on it, which is so comfortable. Even after a couple 100 miles in the saddle, you're still comfortable. It's a lot better than a standard seat. Really nice. There's the brand name there. And got the exhaust on it, just a little bit better sound, and it does have some little fog lights on it and some little slider pucks in case you drop it, I suppose. Let's not have that. And let's give it a little test ride here. This is going to be comparing this against two other speed triples, 2007 and a 2013 Speed Triple R. Very fast, yoo-hoo, and smooth. Now, there's a bit of a difference between the 2007 and this 2012, where when I rode the 2007, it really felt like that power, and the term I'm going to use, I guess I got two. One is raw power, it's just like, and then the other one is like it's got more grunt. It feels like it's got sort of this burst of power, where this is really smooth and linear. So they've made some changes in the fueling of the bike, and likely in the cam of the motorcycle as well. On the 2012 just feels a bit smoother, and on the 2007 just a bit more raw. If that's a term that makes sense, I don't know. To me it does. Really handles well, nice and smooth. I like the wide bars, really make it easy to make the transitions through the corners. You know, when we first rode this bike, the suspension settings were totally out. So we had to go back to the drawing board, reset up the suspension on this 2012 standard version and the 2013 R. They were both in the rear on this bike. It was locked out, so it was basically all the preload was fine. It was the dampening was set as max, so it really wouldn't allow the bike to travel on any, over any bumps, so it really bounced around on the back. The front felt pretty good. It turns out both the settings were pretty off. Here on the smooth road, it sure feels a lot better. You can feel when you hit a little bump that it's equal in the back and in the front, so it doesn't feel like it's squatting, it doesn't feel like it's pushing forward, it just feels equal, where before it sort of was pogoing around in the back. That's going to be much better, especially when we get on the rough roads. Here it's nice and smooth. See, we're in top gear doing 55 at about 3,200 RPM, something like that, which is nice and mellow and quiet. And this aftermarket exhaust, it's got the Aero exhaust on it, and it does have a quiet insert in it, so it's not super loud, but when you get on the throttle, it does sound a lot better. The Speed Triples sound fantastic. And we do make a left up here. Let's hope this guy looks like he's going to make a left too. We may have to go around him. Just because on this road we'll travel a little bit faster than the standard car, I think. Anyway, this is a pretty rough road here. You can feel the bumps in the road quite a bit more than you can in others. But we'll kind of get an idea. There's a good sized bump coming up here, and we'll kind of get an idea how that feels. This side of the road, as we come down this hill up here, it's about a 4-inch bump in the road. I don't know what's causing it. On the other side, it's almost 8 inches, so you actually get airborne coming the other way. You're not ready for it, you'll end up in the embankment over here. And here it is right there. Nice little bump. Feels pretty good on this bike. Handles the bumps pretty well. Get up into the turns up here. This first section's pretty bumpy. You got lots of uneven pavement, people on your side of the road, things like that. Then we start getting into the turns. We'll see how the bike does. This one's got some good bumps in it right. This feels good. So back end's feeling a lot better than it was before. Really put this bike where you want to put it. Brakes are good and solid. Yeah, it feels fantastic. Exhaust note sounds good too. Handles these bumps really nicely. Really, you can pick where you want to put this bike. It holds its line really well. Another nice thing is the power band being so smooth, you can kind of just leave it in gear. So let's kind of just leave it in gear here. Higher gear, still nice and smooth through the corners. And you can still get on the gas. Oh yeah, it's just really nice, smooth transition. Yeah, leave it in gear here. Oh yeah, that's really low RPM and still nice and smooth. That's pretty awesome. Real forgiving bike with the with that power band being so smooth. And you just have power everywhere. It really feels good. Brakes are nice and consistent. The one thing about having that nice smooth power from down low and not being quite so abrupt or raw is that leaving it in gear like that is a little bit easier on this bike, whereas I'd shift around a bit more in the 2007. At these downhill corners here, this transitions into an uphill. Be careful of any kind of gravel on the road. Right there, some sand. the end of our loop there, our turnaround point. We'll make a turnaround here. Do like this, it's a bit more refined. I think that's the way to talk about this bike. Is a bit more refined than the 2007. You know, it should be, right? In a few years. I think it really feels like the cam's a bit different in this bike. Just a pleasure to ride, and comfortable. You know, the riding position on these naked bikes is awesome. Big wide bars, sitting a little bit more upright. Really make this bike go where you want it to go. It's good to have these great brakes. Really make it slow down. We know we end up with a little roughness in this corner here. Very nice. Sometimes these rougher roads like this can be better on a adventure bike or a dual sport or even supermotos. They just have more suspension, but this bike does really well. Just soft enough, still really firm. Any firmer than this and I think you'd be bouncing around a bit. The seat helps keep you planted really well. This has a bit of a drop off here. Got a little bit airborne there. Put it in top gear and kind of see how it just goes silent. Yeah, that's really kind of nice. You just cruise along and you'll be making that great sound, and then throw it in top gear and cruise, and it's just quiet. And down at the end of this straightaway, we're coming back to that bump I was telling you about. It's about from this side, I think it's about an 8-inch bump, so you actually get airborne. But a good thing to be able to tell is, does it pop the back end out, does it move the front end out, or does it kind of all stay, because you're just in a little bit of a corner when you come through it. So you need to try to take it, I think on the other one it was like 64 miles an hour, doing about that now. And oh yeah, get airborne, but it stays really compliant, so it's not bumping the back end up. Sort of felt more like a motocross jump, which is nice. Back end didn't move out, front end didn't move out. Real predictable. A couple of guys riding. And that is the end of that road right there, so we're gonna call it quits.